It's time to take your seat in the front row with Mike Vaccaro. Here's your host, Mike Vaccaro.
Hey, thank you, Chuck, and welcome everybody in the front row with Mike Vaccaro. I am your host. Behind the scenes, as always, J.R. Quitman, our creator, producer, and director. Up to episode number 40. Before we get to that, we do want to thank you, and thank you a lot for watching, subscribing to our podcast, and those of you who watched our one on Muggsy Bogues, you helped make it 1,000 views. So we thank you for that. Continue to do so. A lot of great episodes out there. Be sure to subscribe as well, as we'll have more great guests coming up. Now, as for episode number 40, it's a street legend. It's a guy who was a big name in college, in the pros as well. Kenny Anderson from Queens, big-time point guard, went to Archbishop Molloy, went to the Final Four at Georgia Tech, and made a name for himself as a number 2 pick in the NBA as well. Stints with the Nets, the Celtics, other stops as well. Now doing some coaching at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. He joins us to tell us about his life growing up in those streets of Queens and how he got to where he is right now and what he wants to do with his coaching career. A lot to get to here in this episode number 40 of In the Front Row with Mike Vaccaro, featuring Kenny Anderson. Kenny, first of all, we appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule. I know you're coaching now and you're getting ready for the season, but thanks for spending some time with us. And how's the coaching going?
It's something I love to do. You know, this is a trying time because everybody this recruiting, and I'm in a small school, NAIA, Fisk University, very competitive academically. But we're trying to build a basketball program up, the sports program up. So it's an exciting time, but everybody's trying to get in and get with the team. And I only 12 to 15 guys that could be on a basketball team. So that's the difference. And I hate breaking hearts, for these young men that want to play. You can't play. All the guys, I only gonna play 8 to 10 guys. So it's, that's the hard part of coaching. Who hearts you gonna break, and that's tough.
Yeah. Like you said, you're at Fisk University in Nashville now, and let's go back to the beginning for you. We want to talk about you and how you got to where you are right now. And obviously, you grew up in Queens, New York, in the LeFrak City, and it was a tough neighborhood. Obviously, what was that like for you growing up there, and the challenges to get to where you are now?
Oh, it was tough, but I come from a tough family. My mother raised me. It was just Southside Jamaica, Queens, from 1 to 9. Then my, IS-8 section over there, the playground. That's where I learned to play basketball. My sister, Danielle, I talk to her every morning. She has to call me at 10 o'clock every morning, start my day off. So whatever time zone we're in, I just answer it. And it's always my sister. That's who, got me to love the game of basketball. So when I had my first daughter, I named her Danielle, through my sister. So it was just it's just great playing in New York City, playing in the playgrounds. They just did the documentary Point Guards. So it was just great. I'm glad that they had me in there.
You're definitely one of the outstanding point guards in the city. And when, I guess age-wise, when did you realize that, okay, basketball is my thing, and it's my thing that maybe can get me out of here and onto some better things?
I guess my 15 years old, I played on the varsity team, and I won the MVP as a freshman. That took off from there that night. Played Talenttown High School, and I was a freshman, and I never played the first quarter. I only played 3 quarters. It really didn't matter because I made the team as a freshman. I was so excited at home. I ran home, told my mentor, my mom, I was so happy. So it was just a joy of mine just to play at Archbishop Molloy High School under a famous Jack Curran was the coach there. He was just awesome.
And for you, playing for Coach Curran there, what was that like for you? And what influence did he have on you?
Playing for Coach Curran, Kenny, all the great point guards went there. Kenny Smith went to North Carolina. This is way before me. Brian Winters went there. Kevin Joyce played on the Olympic team, went there. So we had a lot of great players. So it just was he knew the game, but he also was a great mentor of your life. He was a life coach. And he set me up right. It wasn't all about basketball with him. It was more about just life lessons. And I learned so much coming out of Molloy. But first of all, I learned the culture, good culture. And that was his format of a team culture. You have to have it. If not, you don't have to play here. And that's what he was all about. Team. He was all about team.
Yeah, I know you didn't know your dad maybe until later in life. Did you lean on somebody like your high school coach to kind of be that presence at times and really help you kind of guide you at times?
Yeah, my mentor, Vincent Smith, was my mentor, and Coach Curran. Those were my mentors I listened to. And Pierre Turner was a New York judge, and he was my mentor. So them guys really guided me in the right direction. And I listened to them. And this is what most kids nowadays don't listen. I listened, and then I carried it out. And it all worked out for me. I trusted these guys, and that's basically what it did. It helped me a great deal.
Yeah, there you see Coach Curran there, the head coach of Archbishop Molloy, a legendary head coach, and did some great things there. You mentioned Kenny Smith before you. What kind of influence was he? Because it seemed like I had a chance to watch your documentary that you were a little influence on him, especially with your skills and the way you play the game.
His brother Vincent Smith is my mentor. Now, Kenny Smith, awesome. I wanted to be him, and I wanted to be better than him. So I looked at him for that, encouragement, and he gave it to me. And we from the same neighborhood, LeFrak City. But, I was over there at his house before I started high school. He had about 200 trophies, like all over the place. And I said, wow, he got 200. I want to get those trophies. And I set out to be the best, and that's where I got more trophies than him. But he does have the 2 World Championship rocket rings that I'm pissed off about. But he does. He did it, man. He did it on every level. He's a great mentor. He's a great friend. He's doing well. He's a great father. Kenny Smith is an awesome human being, and that's one of the reasons I'm who I am, because I looked up to him.
Well, you said, the trophies, but individually you had a lot of accolades, especially in high school. 4-time Parade All-American, the first time since Lou Alcindor. People know him as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All-City 4 times. What made you such a prolific scorer? You ended up with 2,621 points in your career there.
Well, scoring was good, for me at the time, but I was a playmaker, a team. I think I went to Molloy, and they made me into, team. I was more of a team guy. Whatever I had to do to win that night, that's what I did. Sometimes I had to score. Sometimes I had to assist. Sometimes I had to defend. So it was just a bunch of everything came into it. And back then, I could shoot the ball very well. I worked on my shot very well, and I scored a lot of points. But then it depended on my roster, who I played with, what I had to do. And I was able to adjust my game to the team.
Was being a lefty, is that a plus? And a look that maybe not everybody sees as a defender?
Oh, definitely. You left-handed, I'm left-handed. So guys are jump, when I'm shooting, guys jump on the right side all the time. And that's what they're about, right-handed players. So my left is always open. So you concentrated on those things, and left side layups. But it was hard for left-handers to use both hands. So I had to practice that, using my right, stuff like that. So I use my right every now and then. But, that's where I love watching Kyrie Irving play, Rod Strickland, because they use both. They're very skillful using both hands. I got late, but those guys are awesome.
So again, an outstanding high school career. You're the number one recruit in the country. Obviously, a lot of coaches come calling, and it came down to Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, and then Georgia Tech. What was that whole process like? Because it had to be a little crazy for you.
It wasn't crazy at all.
No?
It was only 2 schools, because that's just how I was. I didn't want all the schools, and I wanted to finish my senior year, grades, just enjoy my senior year. I didn't want that in the back, so I decided way before my school started. It was Syracuse or Georgia Tech. I wanted to go to Syracuse because of Pearl Washington, but my mother, wanted me to go to Georgia Tech because of Coach Cremins, and that's where I went. I went where my mother told me to go, and it all worked out for me, so it was a blessing. So that was it. I decided to go there. I signed my letter of intent, and that was it. And then I had my whole year ahead of me. I was good.
Pearl Washington, was he another kind of mentor for you, someone that you looked up to, wanted to emulate?
Yeah. Pearl Washington was that guy. He wasn't so much a mentor, but he was a good guy, because I was younger than him, and he lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Queens, but I wanted to watch him. He's the best point guard out of New York City, period, to me, period. But he was just awesome.
Yeah, that's saying a lot right there. Again, talking to one of the best here in Kenny Anderson. Tell us about Bob Cremins. What was he like as your head coach, and again, going through that recruiting process to get you to play for the Yellow Jackets?
Oh, Coach Cremins is a player's coach, but he's a great man, and he coached a lot of great players. Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, Malcolm Mackey, Harpering, who played for Utah. Who else? He coached Darrell Farrell, Mark Price, John Sally. He was just a great coach, but he was also a player's coach. I really felt like he was good. He was great for me. And those Coach Jack Curran, my high school coach, Coach Cremins, was 2 of the best coaches of my life.
And you talked, you mentioned some of the big names there, and while you were there as a freshman, it was Lethal Weapon 3, big movie at the time, and it was you, Brian Oliver, and Dennis Scott. You're the hotshot freshman coming in. How did that, seem to get together and so quickly and have the success that you had so quickly?
It was kind of like I was back at Molloy. Everything set up the way it was for me. I was a freshman. And I was a very humble guy. I'm a humble person anyway. So I just wanted to fit in. Whatever the team, because I knew, and I had 4 years. So, I was just wanted to win, period. And wanted to be around a good group of young men. And I wanted to grow each year, and I've grown. And I wanted to grow. As Georgia Tech means the world to me. Not just the coaching staff, the players, but the school. I have a lot of love for it. And I just came in there, wanted to grow, have fun, and go to class and enjoy myself. And I did that.
Yeah, as a freshman again, 1990, you win the ACC championship. You're the 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. What was the message going into that tournament from Coach Cremins? Because obviously you put together an incredible run that took you all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah, nobody. Now, this is about the confidence of everybody on our team. Nobody's going to beat us if the game is close. Nobody that whole year. So that's what we live by. Just keep the game close. Let's execute. And then we just got into, myself, Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, Lethal Weapon 3. It was hard to stop, because Dennis Scott he was just fluid from outside. Brian was a dog rebounding in the lane, and then me, I'm orchestrating everything, from outside, and I can hit you from outside, and I can get layups. So, and then Malcolm Mackey rebounding. We had Johnny McNeil, Carl Brown. We just had a good team. And we said that Brian Oliver was our captain. And we said, just keep the game close and we'll beat anybody. And we should have did. I got into foul trouble against UNLV, but that's what we wanted to do, and we did. We just kept it, and we had so much fun. My high school years, 4 years, and my 2 years at Georgia Tech, the best ever. Those 6 years was the best ever in my life. I got to the NBA, it was different. But 6 years, nobody had. I don't know who had the best 6 years of their life playing basketball than me. It's crazy.
Yeah, great success for the team, great success for you. Let's go back to the run again in 1990. It started, a lot of close games. ETSU wasn't as close, but then it was LSU, and you beat them. And this was Shaq as a freshman, right? And Chris Jackson as well, their point guard. That was tell us about that matchup and what that was like to try to slow him down, Shaq in his early days at LSU.
Yeah, they had a good team. They had a very good team, with Shaq, Stanley Robbins, Chris Jackson. But we was down big, about 15, 17 points early. So we just had to play. So we just kept playing. We knew we'd get back into the game the way we played. Fast breaking, shooting, everything was so relaxed. But they was big. So we had to, get it from outside. Then the Scott started lighting them up. And then I started orchestrating the perimeter, and then we just Brian Oliver cutting to the basket, rebounding, playing team defense. We were just awesome, and we got that win by 3 points, something like that.
Yeah, that was 94-91. Then overtime win against Michigan State. You had the big shot, right, against the Spartans in the next round?
Yeah, I put the game in overtime, but then Dennis Scott won the game, and he should have. The year he had was awesome. He went number 4 in the draft to Orlando. He just played extremely well in the whole tournament. He couldn't be stopped.
You said Minnesota the next game, and then UNLV where you got into foul trouble.
Yeah.
Difference of the game, you think in your mind? I mean, UNLV eventually went on to win the national championship that year.
We lost by 10 points, but 8 to 10. But yeah, I got in foul trouble. And then he took me out, and the better team won. UNLV, they played extremely well. We just had some mishaps along the way, and we should. And with that team, you can't have those kind of mishaps because they'll beat you, and they beat us. But they had first-round draft choice: Greg Anthony, Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson. That's just great. But we had three players that was tough also. But Moses Scary played on UNLV. He's from Brooklyn, so he was a great guy. So it was so much competitiveness against them. Just that whole tournament for us. We wanted to beat everybody.
As you said, an incredible 6 years for you. No social media at the time, but what was it like dealing with the media? Did you get, obviously, I would think a lot of media attention in New York during your high school days and then making that Final Four run. How did you deal with all that?
I was good at it because I got it early. 15 years old, I was dealing with media. And I was in New York. So I knew what to say, what not to say, what to do. It was just awesome. I was on front of every page in the morning. It was Daily News, New York Newsday, New York Times. I was everywhere, man, in high school. It was incredible on all the attention that I received. But I had to deal with it, and I dealt with it, because I had good people in my corner, and I was just always a humble young man. I just wanted to make it for my mother, and I was able to do that.
Yeah, so again, great run, Final Four as a freshman, averaged about 26 points as a sophomore there. What went into your decision to forgo your last 2 years and to go to the NBA?
It was my draft where I was going. I was going top 3. I wanted to stay in school and leave my junior year. I didn't really want to leave. But Coach Cremins, told me 24 hours before that I'll be 1, 2, or 3. So I had to go. And I left, and the Nets drafted me. It was just an awesome night. Being from New York, being at the draft was in the Garden. It was just an awesome night for me to be a part of it with David Stern there. Rest in peace, David Stern is one of the great commissioners of the NBA. It was awesome.
Yeah, this was 1991. As you said, second overall behind Larry Johnson, ahead of Billy Owens from Syracuse. And you entered the NBA as the youngest player in the NBA. What
Yeah.
was that like? And who were some of your early mentors, maybe because you were so young?
I stayed, with my mentors. Well, my high school coach I called, Vincent Smith always was there with me. Pierre Turner. I was the earliest guy I was the youngest guy in the league. It happens. You just had to play. But I went to New Jersey Nets, and New Jersey, I love it. Regardless, I love it. Played there for 4 years. Played with some of the greatest players: Derek Coleman, Drazen Petrovic. I learned a lot. Played under Chuck Daly. It's awesome, man. Awesome. Had a great career.
So close to home, was that a blessing or was that a curse to be so close to home?
Some people would say it was a curse, but it was a blessing for me. My mother lived in Long Island, Glen Cove, and playing for New Jersey, right around. I was about an hour from the bridge. My mother lived. It was great, man. Playing for the Nets. It was awesome.
As you said, young in your freshman or your rookie season, but you progressed in your third year. You were an all-star. How, in your mind, did you progress? What had changed from rookie year to the third year when you became an all-star?
I had to prove myself because my first year coach, Bill Fitch, rest in peace, passed away. I had nothing against him. I loved him, but he didn't play me my rookie year. I didn't know why, but my sophomore year, I started playing extremely well. So I was able to weather the storm and started competing very well. Worked out and made the All-Star team '94. So me and Derek, it wasn't like I made it. I made it like with the fans, and I got voted to start. It was an awesome day. I got voted to start. Awesome.
Yeah,
It didn't matter with the coaches because everybody got their beliefs, their own beliefs. Coaches, I didn't care about the coaches, fans. When I made it, I was like, hey, that's it. I made it. The fans. I was black. You can't say nothing. The fans vote you on.
Yeah, again, you averaged almost 19 points in that third season. And you mentioned some of the coaches, Bill Fitch, Chuck Daly, Butch Beard during your time with the Nets. So you went from consistency and, at Archbishop Molloy and Georgia Tech, and then a lot of coaching changes. What's that like for a player, especially a young player?
It's tough. It's tough. But you got to have the right mindset. And I don't know if I had it. I was up and down the lead. I was getting tired, with everyday life, everyday things I'm going through, my family and stuff like that. I didn't, I was just getting tired. I think being blessed to play basketball on every level was a blessing to me. Basketball is easy, life is hard, and that's the thing. And I just got tired, But I got tired, but I knew that was a way that I could take care of my mother, to play basketball, and that's the real, get tired of something, and I just got tired. I was from 14, 15 years old, I've been playing. I've been the man, and I just got tired, man. With everything that comes with it, I just got tired.
Well, you still had an outstanding career, and after your time with the Nets, you did get traded. You got traded to the Hornets. What was that like? For the first time, maybe knowing or thinking, "Hey, I'm not wanted here," and you get traded.
Oh, it was kind of a mixed emotions, but then when I got the shot, I was fine. See, and that's where the business nature comes in when you're an NBA player. You got to deal with it. So I got there. I love Charlotte because that's ACC land, Georgia Tech. So that's where I wanted to be at. But things don't, the owners sold the team and everything. And it was just one of those years. We played extremely well, though. I love playing with Larry Johnson, Glenn Rice. We had a very good team. And I got the chance to play with Robert Parrish in Charlotte, and that was the Chief. That was just awesome. I'm glad I had the opportunity to play with him because he was one of the greats, the Celtics history.
Yeah, the Chief. That is one of the greats that you had a chance to play with. That's amazing. And, again, like you said, you go there, you play with some of those guys, and then you get a nice deal to go to Portland as well. What was that like to kind of, again, to know that you were going to help your family, help yourself as well, and have another opportunity at another place?
Well, Portland was everything to me because they gave me a contract, and then it was just a great town to play for, a great organization. Rest in peace, Paul, the owner. He was a great owner. He passed away. So I got a lot of love for Portland. I played a year and a half there, then I got traded, but I did everything that was asked of me to come in and play hard and play well, and that's what I did. So it was a blessing, though, playing for them.
Yeah, as you said, you got traded to Toronto, but you didn't want to go there, and it worked out well for you. You got to go to the Celtics, so you've got to play for, again, one of the historic teams in the NBA, and you had some really good years there as well. What do you remember about your time with Boston?
My time, I love Boston. I was there 5 years. Played under Rick Pitino, Jim O'Brien. We went to the Eastern Conference Final, played with some great players, Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, great people. I love, let's see, New Jersey Nets, Boston Celtics, Portland Trailblazers. That's where I give all my love to. That's where I was, I played the most minutes at. And great cities. Those were great cities. And I just loved it.
Again, you mentioned Robert Parrish, who was a Celtic. When you're at the Celtics, you had to be around some of the other guys, some of the big names. Obviously, a Bill Russell, who just passed away recently. What was your run-ins with him and your time with him, and maybe lessons you learned from such an iconic sports figure and an activist, away from the court as well?
Now, that's Bill Russell, you say, right?
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Rest in peace, he passed. I really didn't get the chance to talk to him a lot, but when I talked to him, he gave me a lot of lessons, about the racism we had to deal with in Boston when he was playing, the game of life. He's just a great. He's a great winner, but just a great person to understand and to get. I just wanted to listen to him, listen to his stories, and learn from him. He's just an awesome man. Awesome.
And you said your time there was good. Did the fans embrace you and what you were bringing to the floor?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Boston was awesome, man. Getting a chance to play in the metropolitan area in Boston, can't beat it. I loved it.
Bounce around a little bit after that, the Seattle Supersonics. You go to the Hornets in New Orleans, to Lithuania as well. At that time, could you see kind of your career kind of winding down a little bit? Were you contemplating retirement at some point?
Yeah, I didn't want to play no more. My mother passed away in 2006. That's when I went overseas. I gave it up. I didn't want to play no more. I wanted to get back. 2006, my mother passed, and I just went over there. Lithuania was great. Sabas, who I played with in Portland, owned the team, so it was great. It was great for me to understand going away for 6 months. So I had a lot of thinking to do. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot on an athlete's mind. I mean, again, your career, when it ends, you're still so young, and then dealing with the passing of your mom as well. What are you thinking at that time? What are you thinking is next for you at that point?
Nothing. I just wanted to get away. I didn't know. I just got away. That was it. I had my wife, I had my kids with me. It just was fun. And I thought about I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get back. So how I get back? I'm a basketball coach. It's great. At a university, Fisk University, NAIA, small level, and I can teach these young men. Not so much about basketball, but a lot about life. And that's what I'm giving back to these young men. Hopefully they grasp it. Some of them will, some of them won't. And that's life.
I'm sure you have your own coaching style, but do you take from some of the coaches that you've had? Who from a coaching standpoint, who was the biggest influence on you?
Well, my biggest influence was Jack Curran, my high school coach. But I played for so many coaches, and it's been great. And learn from all of them. And I played for Brick Petito, and he's now at Iona. He's a great man. I played for Jim O'Brien, coached with Brick Petito at Kentucky. He coached in the NBA for many years. It's so many coaches. And Nate McMillan, he's now Atlanta Hawk. I played for him at Seattle. So I just give the coaches a lot of love, a lot of blessing, because get a lot of their beliefs and what they're about in the game of basketball.
Yeah. So again, as you said, 2006. Your last games, you go into coaching. Tell me about your documentary. This is kind of, I guess it was billed as a midlife crisis time for you. 2015, I guess. Is that when they followed you around? And
I'm not sure, but you need to go watch it. It's on.
I did.
Amazon. Mr. Chibbs, my documentary. Mr. Chibbs, my nickname. My mother named me. Go check it out, man. I know you did. It's a great doc. It's my life. I ain't cut no corners. I wanted to be real with it, and it's real. I don't want to talk about it too because people out there watch it. It's on Prime Amazon, Mr. Chibbs. So everybody in New York and Atlanta, even everybody call me Chibbs. That's my nickname.
Yeah, it's again. I watched it the other night. Very honest, very very raw. Yeah. What made you want to do this? Because you really opened up and as a sports fan, you see you on the court, but this is seeing you in a different light.
I wanted to do it. I think my mother passed away, so I was able to just be myself a little. I don't think if she was living, I would have been able to broadcast what I wanted to say on there. But I wanted to be open so I could help others.
Dealing with the stuff that you were dealing with at that time, obviously you've come through it and you're in a great position now. Does that help you from a coaching standpoint? And again, the life lessons that you're trying to tell, your kids, your players, and even your kids that you have.
Yeah, definitely. It's a life experiences, man. That's the teacher. That teach all of us. And everything I go through, I try to, branch it out and give it back to my kids that I coach and stuff like that. So, and I'm always truthful with parents, with players. Got to be truthful. They got to see how are you individually, how they can prosper from some of your information. And that's what I try to do, to help them overcome some of the things that they're fighting.
And again, as we talked about at the beginning of the interview here, you're at Fisk University in Nashville, NAIA, historically black college and university. So it's got a lot of history from a school standpoint as well. What are you trying to do from a basketball standpoint with that program?
I'm trying to build a program up and just I would like to win. Everybody would like to win, but how am I going to win? Is it about winning on the court or winning in life? So that's where it gets muddy at. You know what I'm saying? That's where you try to find your fine line. I think I got some good guys. So some guys want to win just on the court. That's not cool. Got to win in life, and that's what I'm trying to preach. And I'll get it. Here at Fisk, I love coaching here. I love the HBCU. It's just a great starting ground for me if I could overcome this, I could overcome anything. It's a blessing.
Yeah, and I know, you mentioned the HBCUs, and they're getting a lot more love these days. I know Chris Paul's done a lot of stuff to bring some attention to them, and you've got, Deion Sanders coaching at Jackson State as well. HBCUs is kind of hidden gems from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah, I need let's call it a spade a spade. I'm at a private HBCU. I need some more love from my NBA guys. Come and help me at Fisk University down here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come give some love back, so I can get it going. I'm gonna get it going regardless. But come on, man. Come on. Let's help out. You help all these other public, HBCU. What about Fisk? Private. Come on. I'm here coaching, trying to help these young men.
Yeah, you're certainly doing that. And again, you're early in your coaching career. Where do you see this going? Obviously, you want to turn things around there at Fisk. You want to make them a champion. And, where do you see your career going? I'm
not sure. I just got to live. Just give back. That's what my main thing is. I'm not sure, man. I just want to be here just to give back. That's the main thing. And that's what I'm doing. And I love it right now. I don't know when I'm 55, 60. Who knows? But right now, I'm only 51. I'm young. I still got that grind in me. So hopefully I can get it.
Yeah, you're still young, 51. I'll be 50 coming up. So, do you get on the court with these kids? Do you show them how it should be done?
Nah, shoot. We could play horse foul shots, but I'm not running up and down no more. I don't have that in me. But I play horse and stuff like that. It's great.
How much do your current players know about you and your career?
They don't. Their father and mother do, but they don't. Now they know some of it. With this, Instagram and computers and all that, they don't. But I understand it. It's all good. Long as they can get something from me, as far as teaching.
Yeah, as you said, again, when you were playing your heyday, there wasn't social media. Now there is. Do you use social media to your advantage?
Yeah, it's great. With the school and the memories. Sometimes I blast. I'm a stickler for Instagram, Twitter, but I'm mid-September. I'm gonna cut it off because my season start. We start practicing, and I can't be on there a lot. But right now, I can give back. Some of my thoughts.
Again, a lot of accolades for you, a lot of honors for you. 2010, you graduated from St. Thomas University in Miami. Unfortunately, your mom didn't have a chance to see that, but what did that mean to you? Because, again, you left Georgia Tech early, didn't get your degree at that time. What did it mean to you to get it in 2010?
Oh, it meant the world to me. I wish my mother was here to see it. But, I walked and graduated, and I did it the right way, hard work. And I knew I wanted to get into coaching. So in college, you have to have your degree. So I had to finish up school, and I did that. So it's just a blessing. And St. Thomas University, great schools in Miami. So we played them this year, so I'm excited about that.
Before that, 2008, New York City Basketball Hall of Fame. I mean, again, so many accolades that you've earned, you've won. Talk about all the trophies, trying to get more trophies than Kenny Smith. What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of graduating, when I graduated from college. Basketball has always been it's just been there for me. It's been easy my whole life. But all the stuff I'm doing now, like I graduated 2010 and just trying to give back, man. Trophies, I mess around, I say it, but they don't mean anything. They mean something, but not as much as giving back and being a part of something that's bigger than you. And, if I build Fisk University, if I touch on some of these young men's lives, then that's a blessing. Then I know I'm winning.
Again, you're not too far removed from your playing days, but how much do you watch the NBA? How much do you think that, hey, my game would still translate in the NBA now?
I don't watch it a lot. I watch my three teams that I care about. But, my game, it'll be easier for me now because they just shoot threes and space the court out. And if you got good ball handling skills, you get anywhere. So it'll be easier. But, the NBA is a great sport. is doing so much, so grateful just to pay attention to it as much as I do. But I watch the college game because I'm a college coach and stuff like that. So it's I love the game of basketball wherever it is, playgrounds, the arenas, wherever, stadium. I love the game of basketball.
Well, you mentioned the playgrounds. Playing in the playgrounds in the city, how did that toughen you up and help you for the player that you became?
Oh, that's what did it. I'm 6'2", I was 178, and playing the playground was tough. You couldn't call no fouls. I'm from New York, so it is what it is. You come to play, you play. It's just it's tough. You have to play or you want to fight, one or the other.
Yeah, that'll certainly make you tough. Again, you're great shooters, great scorer, but a great passer as well. And you had some great guys to pass to, as you mentioned, Dennis Scott, Drazen Petrovic. Who are some of the guys that you knew were going to get you an assist when you get it to them on the wing?
Dennis Scott, Drazen Petrovic. I played with Reggie Miller, Dale Carey, Glenn Rice. Played with some greats, man. That's awesome. I played with some great shooters.
As you watch the game now, who do you like? Who really sticks out?
I like Damon Lillard, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. It's like all the guards. Kevin Durant is just awesome. LeBron James been doing it for so many years. He's awesome. Just a lot of great players, man. So they got about 20 players in the league. That's awesome. About 20.
Again, doing great work now. Mr. Chibbs, how can people find that if they want to watch that? And again, just get a real...
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's Mr. Chibbs. Kenny Anderson story. Go check it out. You must check it out. Big time.
What's the response you've gotten from that? Again, it came out in 2017, awesome. But what was it?
Awesome. Jill Campbell, who's the director, did a hell of a job on it. I'm getting A+, on it, and I think I was so real, on it. I just didn't hide enough. I just came out and told the truth, and it's been a blessing, man. Love it.
Were some people surprised by some of the stories that they heard about you that maybe
I'm not sure because I haven't talked to them. They said we saw it, we loved it, both. That was it. But that's just life.
How can people follow you, and how can people follow you and follow Fisk this year and as your season goes on?
You can follow me at Fisk. You can follow me at Chibbs_1 on Twitter, and then on Instagram, Kenny Anderson 7357th Ave. I said 57th Ave because that's what 57. Kenny Anderson at 7357. That's my Instagram post, and just follow me, man. You never know what I'll say. I'll say some inspirational things. That's what I'm on, to try to get guys, women, guys, whoever, just to do the right thing.
Well, Kenny, this has been a lot of fun to talk to a legend that you are. And I can't thank you enough for spending a little time with us, and certainly interested to see how you guys develop, how you build that program there at Fisk, and we'll be watching.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Great, man.
All right.
Go Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs.
Well, great stuff. As always, we thank Kenny Anderson for joining us, taking a little time out of his schedule as he's about to get set for the start of another season there at Fisk University in Nashville. Wish him the best of luck. He and the Bulldogs trying to build that program. Be sure to follow that program this season as well. Again, we remind you, be sure to subscribe and like our episodes as well. More great guests coming up. You don't want to miss what's ahead as we count down toward our 1-year anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us here today in the front row with Mike Vaccaro. Have a great day, everybody.